Yo, it's Tang, and today we're going to react to Black Myth Wukong hands-on with an impressive first 2 hours by IGN. Let's clock in. This is my most hyped game so far. This is it.
The list of impressive-looking Souls-like games on the horizon is long, with games like Phantom Blade Zero, Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn, and Wukong Fallen Feathers all having solid showings this summer event season. But there's always been something extra special about Black Myth Wukong. It's stunningly gorgeous. The animations are incredibly fluid, it's steeped in rich Chinese culture, and there's just something immensely satisfying about playing as a Monkey King, beating up all sorts of mythical creatures with a giant extendable staff.
Yes, sir.
While this isn't the first time IGN has gone hands-on with the game, it is my own personal first time with it, and after 2 hours of playtime with the opening chapter, I somehow walked away even more excited for its August 20th release.
That is great news. That is awesome news.
IGN China has already done an extensive preview on what Wukong plays like on a late game build, with many techniques, stances, and transformations already unlocked, which is great because my 2 hours covered pretty much the very start of the game. The first thing that I noticed as I started playing was how fluid and fast Wukong feels to control.
Alright, that's good. That's good news. Fast and fluid.
Slower and more methodical combat, but Wukong feels exceptionally quick and agile. From the beginning, there's actually no block button. Wukong can twirl his staff to block projectiles, but as far as melee attacks go, everything must be dodged.
So you have to dodge, no block.
There's a Bayonetta-style dodge system where you can dodge up to 3 times very quickly, but after the third one, you're punished with a lengthy recovery time to try and curb people from just mindlessly mashing the dodge button.
Makes sense.
Timed dodges
can be
will
spamming.
reward you with extra focus, and once your focus bar has been filled, you get a focus point that allows you to chain a strong attack into your light combo string for a big chunk of damage. Later on, those focus points can also be spent on different types of special moves that you unlock in the skill tree, which we'll get to a bit later. Wukong also has access to a number of spells that consume his mana. I only really got to play around with the Immobilize spell, which, as you can imagine, stops an enemy in their tracks and allows you to sneak in a few hits before the spell's effect wears off.
That is dope.
We've seen that a couple times. Are affected by the spell much less, and sometimes they were able to shrug it off entirely. Even at just an early stage, combat was a fun dance of actively looking for opportunities to avoid enemy attacks and find openings, keeping an eye on my focus meter so that I can use a damaging heavy attack whenever I had the chance, while also managing my mana and cooldown for my Immobilize spell. Eventually, I got my first transformation, which turns Wukong into an absolute beast, with much stronger attacks and a hugely damaging super attack that he can use out of a dodge if he manages to build up a focus point. One of his moves in this transformation is a lightning-fast dash attack that made me feel like I had basically turned into the boss that I got the transformation from. Later on, I added another tool to my repertoire, the Tower Stance, which swapped out my chargeable overhead strong attack for the ability to stand on the staff and avoid damage on the ground as long as my stamina held out. If I managed to stay on the staff long enough for a focus point to charge, I could spend it to leap off the staff, flip it around, and keep crashing down with a powerful strike that felt incredibly cool to pull off. These stances, along with my general combat abilities, could all be upgraded through a level-up system that works a lot like Sekiro's. As you defeat enemies, you'll gain Will, which builds up a bar in the top right of the screen. When the bar is full, you gain a Spark, which can be used to purchase upgrades from one of your various skill trees. Once you fill the bar and bank a point, you can't lose it. You can even add that point wherever you want, not just at a shrine, which serves as Wukong's version of a bonfire-like checkpoint. However, if you die before you manage to fill the bar, a portion of that experience will be lost in typical Souls-like fashion. Makes sense. Don't let that trick you into thinking that Wukong is an easy game, though, because it certainly is not. Enemies are aggressive, bosses are relentless, and even more so in their second phases, and you only have a scant few restorative potions to keep yourself alive. I also managed to find a secret boss room behind a waterfall that took me to a dragon boss that absolutely wrecked me. Fortunately, you can teleport from shrine to shrine, so you can come back to him much later down the road once you've upgraded your gear and teleport some points into your skill trees. And speaking of gear, I didn't manage to find all that much, but I did find enough to at least know that there are sets of armor that grant extra bonuses for wearing multiple pieces of gear from that set. The levels themselves were fairly linear with a couple of branching points that led to some sort of treasure or item pickup. The real star of the show, though, were the boss battles. Even in just 2 hours, I fought against a wide variety of bosses.
Damn, 2 hours?
From a wolf boss that I snagged my first transformation from, to a mule-kicking frog in human clothes, to an extremely difficult 2-phase battle against a snake man. All in all, I greatly enjoyed my time with
And the Baron.
Wukong. Even in just 2 hours of playtime, I felt like I got to experience a lot of combat progression, and am excited to see how things will continue to evolve as the game goes on. We won't have to wait much longer to see how the full game shakes out, as Black Myth Wukong releases on PC and PlayStation 5 on August 20th.
So what have I learned watching this? So I've learned that it seemed it's kind of like Souls, sort of like Souls. So it's not as easy as what people think it is. When you have a shrine, basic kind of area of Souls. I believe he said you can't in the beginning. You can only dodge. You cannot block. I think you could. I mean, probably later on you can block, right? Not just dodge. But at the beginning, he said you can only dodge, and you can't even spam dodge. You have a stamina, so that's good to know. You just can't be spamming. Sounds like there is also a lot of boss. He mentioned already in 2 hours of play, he fought so many different type of boss. So again, I believe this says like 80 different bosses, which I believe them based on what he's saying. In 2 hours, he already fought so many different bosses. Yeah, that's true here. Yeah, I believe that's 80 here. He said the combat is smooth. I like it. There's no hiccups or anything. So far, he didn't say really anything that's kind of bad. I feel like everything is all like positive. I don't know if like, is he just trying to hype the game up? But I mean, this is my most hyped game of 2024. My last hype game. My first one was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but this is my last one. We're to August 20th. I couldn't pre-order the deluxe or collectors, and unfortunately it is digital. So that's very, very unfortunate. But guys, I am so excited for this. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I don't know if there's difficulties or anything, but the fact you have like all these abilities you could do. I like the fact that you can hang like, your staff. You could kind of push yourself up from a staff. Hang yourself basically in the air with the staff, holding yourself up. That's pretty cool. And you have the ability to, like he mentioned, to just freeze the enemy for like, for a little bit. We do see that a lot already in like all the other previews. But yeah, like I mentioned, I'm super excited. Let me know you guys are excited for this. And I can't wait. Catch you guys on the next video. Peace out.